Erica Ayala with American Legacy Network here. The Beijing Winter Olympics have come to a conclusion. The Paralympics are getting ready to start. So we thought it would be a great time to check in with one of the Black athletes that competed for Team USA, Elana Meyers Taylor. Elana, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your Olympic medals. We'll talk about that soon. Just congratulations on getting to be the USA flag bearer. A little bit different than we thought it was going to go, but it's nonetheless. But why don't we just start with reactions to the Winter Olympics, your fourth games, either just as a whole, and then we'll get into your specific events in a little bit.
Oh my goodness. This was the craziest games I've ever been a part of, the most difficult games I've ever been a part of by far. Just the whole atmosphere, it was completely different than any other games I'd been in with COVID, with the different protocols in place, with the geopolitical climate of the world. Like it was just a totally different type of environment. But anytime there is an Olympics, anytime you have an opportunity to go out there and compete and do your best for your country, for your city, for your race, for your family, everything, you're going to go out there and lay it all on the line, regardless of what's going on. So 2 days after arriving in Beijing, we had been on tour for the past 2 years since COVID and had done a great job of avoiding COVID, nothing in our family. And I travel around with my young son, and my husband's a bobsledder too, and we had done a really great job of staying safe. And then lo and behold, we get to China and test positive 2 days after landing, which kind of threw a loop into everything. And meant I had to miss a couple of days of on ice training where we actually get to test out the track. But I also was cooped up in a room by myself, isolated for, I think, 9 days or something like that, just trying to do whatever I could to stay in shape, but definitely not the ideal way to start off with Olympic Games.
And I mean, again, unfortunately, COVID has been a part of the game. So were there some things that you were able to do, or maybe things that you picked up, even just from, a mental and emotional type of training that you were able to do while in quarantine ahead of finally being able to compete in monobob?
So my husband, Nick, is also my strength and conditioning coach as well. And so he was in isolation as well. So he had the same exact space as I did. So he was really good at coming up with different workouts we can do. He got a bike and we were able to figure out how to do bike sprints and just how to do anything we could to stay in shape. The other thing was just mentally, he was instrumental in making sure I stayed positive, making sure I continuously told myself that I could do it. As long as I got out in time, that I'd have a really good opportunity. And there were even some competitors internationally, people who compete against me were reaching out and sending me videos from the track, from their training, to just try and make sure I stayed engaged and really just rooting me on.
I love that. I mean, it seems as though at the Olympic level, obviously when the horn sounds or the beep goes off, everyone is competing for themselves, their team, their country. But it does seem like the Olympic Games, there is kind of this spirit of camaraderie. And I feel like that probably comes from you guys all kind of know what you've gone through to get there. I mean, how real is that?
Yeah, there is definitely some sense of camaraderie there because it is a lot to get here and it takes a whole village. It takes a family. And that's why I'm blessed to have so many great people behind me. And internationally too, we support each other because we know the journey, we know what it looks like. And, you never want people to perform badly. You just want to perform to your best. And if your best means you're winning a medal, then that's what you want to do. And fortunately, I think a lot of the competitors internationally, we're all able to understand that we're really racing time. We're not necessarily racing each other. We just want to be the fastest possible we can be down to the bottom of the track. And time doesn't care what's going on, but your international competitors definitely do. Yeah, so men's bobsled since its inception has had two different disciplines to compete in, the 2-man and the 4-man, which meant they had two medal opportunities at the games. So this never seemed fair. It's never seemed okay. And so me and another group of girls really took it on to try and get 4 women's bobsled included in the Olympics. And what that meant is racing with and against the guys, hopping in men's races, doing whatever we can to race against the men in this 4-man bobsled. And we slowly but surely, we got in the races. We were competitive. We did all these things. And then the International Federation agreed that we needed 2 medal opportunities. But instead of giving the 4-man, they gave us this monobob discipline. Monobob is typically used for development drivers, so it's typically used for people who are just trying to learn. And they did it at the Youth Olympics and decided it was the way to go for women to try and get them another medal opportunity. So it may not necessarily be the discipline that we wanted, but it is another medal opportunity. And I was definitely blessed to be able to go there and race it. I know for 2026, there will be monobob again. But the biggest thing right now is just trying to grow the numbers internationally. Like now we have Jamaica competing, we have Nigeria competing, we have Ukraine, we have all these different countries competing. And now that they have drivers, maybe they'll continue to grow their program and get to the point where they can fund 4 women's sleds. But at the end of the day, like I thought 4 women was the best option for the sport. I'm quickly aging out of the sport. I'm 37 years old. I could make another run at it. I'm not sure what I'll do yet, but at the end of the day, how the sport moves forward is really up to the young girls who are doing it now. If they want to continue to do monobob, I'm going to support them. Of course, like I said, I think 4 women's the way to go, but if that's not what they want, then that's okay. Women just need to have the option. They need to have choices. They need to have a voice in this. And if they want monobob, then I'm going to support them in any way I can. Oh my gosh, it's crazy surreal. To actually have done it and walked away with 2 medals is just insane. I was even saying to my husband this morning, like we actually made it happen. Like I get to hang 2 medals, and I did hang 2 medals around my son's neck. Like that was the dream of all dreams. Like I went home for the first time since November the other day and looked at a mirror, and on the mirror we had 2 gold medals in 2022 written on the mirror in the bathroom. And yeah, we fell short of gold, but these medals feel like gold for everything we went through to get there. And just to know that I was the first woman to be able to do it, and to do it with, the craziest of circumstances, and with a partner that I hadn't been sliding with all season long. I don't purposefully just recruit Black athletes. I try to recruit talented athletes regardless. But the fact of it is we're recruiting a lot of track and field athletes, a lot of rugby athletes, and different things like that. And those are largely dominated by Black athletes. So we've been able to get more and more athletes in the sport that way, more and more athletes of color, which I'm all for. And I'm all for about giving athletes a different opportunity to pursue their Olympic dreams. The other way is not only am I able to represent my race, but I'm also able to represent the disability community because I had an opening ceremony jacket that I was able to auction off for National Down Syndrome Society, which my son has Down syndrome. So I auctioned off the jacket. We sold it for $5,001. And thankfully, Bridgestone, who's one of my longtime partners, matched that donation and doubled it. So they're now doubling it to $10,002 to donate to National Down Syndrome Society. And the thing about Down syndrome, too, is we don't see a lot of people of color in the Down syndrome community. So I feel like bobsled has given me the opportunity to combine those 2 worlds to make it so my son and his disability are visible, both as a Black little boy and also as a member of the Down syndrome community. So I feel like it's kind of coming full circle of what I've been able to do on behalf of my race and on behalf of him as well.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And ultimately, the representation matters so much. I mean, yeah, you talk about being able to auction off that jacket and just having that leverage, I think, is so important. And it's positive things like that we can all do to just support each other. And I think that's amazing. I especially love the awareness of being able to bring out all different abilities and capabilities, and that it leads us into the Paralympic Games as well, which I think is something that I always love to watch, and it's a goal of mine to be able to cover in real time as well. But Elana, we'll start wrapping up here by first and foremost saying, well, thank you so much for joining us here at American Legacy Network. Congratulations for all of your success. And we'd like to leave you just with this. As you mentioned, you are at the sage status of your sport. But who are some other athletes that are up and coming, and what are some ways that you would recommend for someone who just fell in love with bobsled, watching you and others, how they can stay involved in the sport?
I think the biggest way to stay involved is just go online and go to our website, usabs.com, and learn more about the sport. The sport is for everybody. Doesn't matter your socioeconomic background, your race, your religion, anything. Bobsled is for everybody. We've got a lot of great athletes coming up. Even our 2 Olympian brakemen for this past quad, Keisha Love and Sylvia Hoffman, both are trying to get in the driver's seat now. And so that's a whole new career path that they're choosing. There's another Black girl on the German squad, Deborah Levy, who's a crazy great talent as a brakeman. And I'm excited to see where the future holds her. But there's great athletes across the sport. And even the Jamaican program, like one of the athletes who competed, Jasmine Fenlater, had been a U.S. athlete. She converted to Jamaica, but I really am encouraged to see more and more Jamaican athletes. And for me, having Jamaican heritage too, it holds a special place in my heart. So the sport is in great hands, and I'm excited to see where it goes, not just for people of color, but for all athletes.
I love that. I love that. You mentioned Deborah, who of course was able to win gold, brought home gold. That's amazing. And Fenlater as well, representing Jamaica. Actually, we had not just the most medals in the bobsled discipline, but also the most just Black athletes competing. But it was also, if you look at the numbers, it was the women, the Black women holding it down as far as Olympic medals. So I love that. I love that you gave both of them a shout out. And again, congratulations on all of your success. Thank you so much for joining us on American Legacy Network.